we do have the moon moving out of the Leo energy. Of course, we just had the full moon in Leo peak yesterday afternoon, and we are going to still very much be in the full moon energy. However, we are going to be shifting into Virgo energy. So anytime we're moving out of the Leo energy into the Virgo energy, it does kind of feel like we meet a little bit of resistance, like we're slowed up a smash just a tad, just because that fire energy, we're all revved up, fired up, emotional, definitely a little bit dramatic as well. Let me just say, I don't know how your full moon kind of unfolded, but that Leo energy always adds a little bit of drama, a little bit of spice. And when we move into the earth energy of Virgo, we feel that shift in the energy. We become grounded. We become rooted. We become focused on our daily lives. Why is that? Well, because the Virgo energy needs to reorganize, needs to restructure, needs to create order out of the chaos. Now, the Virgo energy, all we want to do is identify the problem and create a solution for that problem. All we want to do is heal those particular aspects that have become a problem. And with the full moon in Leo popping off, we would have had some emotions to release, to purge, and we would have identified some particular blockages and challenges and obstacles. And the moon moving into Virgo energy, we're going to sort this out. We are going to fix some of these problems. It is an earth energy that is ruled over by Mercury, ruler of the mental plane. So we are going to kind of be stuck in our headspace, but also very focused on our daily lives, our physical realm, our physical environments, and the circumstances within it. And the Virgo energy is very much mind over matter. We have the ability in Virgo energy to really focus on what it is that we want to create, give life to, give birth to, fix, resolve. And we actually get to do that, anchor that into the physical realm. So it is going to be quite helpful, especially coming out of this full moon peak energy. And we're going to see the moon go void, of course, at 9:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be locking into the Virgo energy at 4:15 p.m. So that does kind of make for a very long waking day of having the moon be void. Now, reminder, when the moon is void, we typically speaking are a little bit shaky, a little bit unstable, unfocused. We have a hard time really kind of aligning our heart and our head. Decisions should be put off until we kind of lock into a new energy. Choices also put off. We don't want to make any kind of commitments. If you do, you are tapping into an unstable energy that will require you to make lots of changes, lots of edits, as you kind of go through the process to bring some of those ideas to life. So just understand that we are going to definitely be feeling all over the place, especially because we are coming out of the peak full moon energy. And with the moon being void, of course, for this long, we are definitely going to have a very interesting day. Mondays are ruled over by the moon. There are 11 different aspects here today. 9 of them involve the moon. So it should be a very interesting day. We start off with the moon in Leo, making a very awkward interaction with Jupiter, the planet of growth, abundance, beliefs, blessings. This particular interaction, again, just keep in mind, Jupiter likes to magnify, turn the volume all the way up on whatever it is that we're thinking and feeling. The moon still in Leo energy and Jupiter in Aries energy. We get some fire on fire energy and action here. We're feeling the intensity, new passions, new dreams, new desires, new urges coming in. We want to take action on them. We're not quite there yet, but we're definitely being illuminated to where it is that we want to grow from here. The moon is going to bump into Mercury in not the nicest way. It is going to provide us a little bit of a choice point, a little bit of a learning opportunity as well. The Mercury energy is our head space. The moon is our heart space. Having the moon in Leo energy while Mercury is grounded out in Capricorn energy, we're definitely not on the same page. And a lot of that is because the mercurial energy in Capricorn isn't very emotional at all. We're looking at things logically and practically. We're kind of cutting the bullshit out. And the moon in Leo is all about the feels, all about the emotions. And again, a little bit extra, a little bit dramatic with it. So our heart and our head, not on the same page. We want to express ourselves. We want to kind of get a lot of things off of our chest, and Mercury being in Capricorn energy doesn't really have the time for that. If it's not productive and creating progress with our long-term goals, then we really just want to kind of fast forward through this particular emotional outburst or emotional expression. But as you know, we got to get the heart and the head on the same page before we can go ahead and actually engage the physical body to take action, to start manipulating our physical realms to align with our inner realm and the vision and the dream that we're currently being asked to pursue. The moon is going to go ahead and make a positive interaction with Mars. Mars, of course, physical energy, passion, desire, motivation, inspiration, anger, if need be. And in this Gemini energy, like I said, we've been on the fence for far too long. We really do want to take action and make some moves. That particular energy and chapter is coming at us. And right now we have a lot of new ideas coming in that we are dropping into that heart space, realizing that we have a passion for and excitement for, that we actually want to be motivated, determined, and inspired enough to get what we need to get in order and in place in order to start moving forward. That's one of the things we talked about this full moon in Leo, is that it was going to help us kind of remove the gunk from our heart space that had been weighing us down, so that new realizations, new inspirations, new ideas can come in that actually like bring us back to life, get us excited again, get us passionate again. This is definitely an interaction that will do just that. The moon is going to make an awkward interaction with Neptune, who is in Pisces energy. This is only an awkward interaction because the moon in Leo is very here and now, ego-based, really wanting to allow the heart space to lead. Neptune in Pisces is our, I'm going to say, higher self, where we get to align with our intuition and where we tap into a new level of creativity, a new level of awareness and enlightenment. And we are feeling this little bit of conflict because we don't really know what to trust. Are we going to trust our heart space that, of course, we have to listen to? Or are we going to act as the observer and really rely on our higher self, who can see the big picture, and really kind of, I'm going to say, formulate a better plan that isn't emotionally reactive? Because that's what the moon in Leo is kind of doing to us right now. Venus is going to go ahead and bump into Chiron. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer. Venus is in Pisces energy. We are having a little bit of an awkward interaction here that is going to create some tension, some miscommunication. We are feeling uncertain. We are feeling a little bit not clear on what it is that we want from our personal relationships. And where Venus is in Pisces energy, she, for the most part, is in love with love and wearing those rose-colored glasses and not really willing to admit, that she's not that happy, that she's feeling a sense of discontentment and unsatisfaction. And now, tapping into the shadow realms of this Pisces energy, she's feeling the wound, she's feeling the uncertainty. All of a sudden, she realizes that things aren't hunky-dory like she was, trying to tell herself. And now we tap into the shadow realm of the Pisces energy, which is escapism, which is disassociation, which is just wanting to run and hide, especially where confrontations are concerned. That full moon in Leo energy that we're in has been pushing us to get a lot of things off of our chest, off of our heart space, truly express ourselves. And you know what? That may not feel very good, and it may highlight a lot more pain and trauma than what we are consciously willing to accept and kind of integrate that is a part of our day-to-day. And this is definitely going to expose the wounds that we are feeling, not only in our personal identity in relationship to some of these relationship dynamics that are constantly changing, but really pushing us to see where it is that we kind of have to take the rose-colored glasses off and deal with life for the way that it is and not the way that we wished it would be. 9:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon is going to oppose and sit across from Mr. Saturn, Mr. Karma himself, ruling over structures, roles, responsibilities. Well, Saturn is in Aquarius energy, and Leo energy sits across from Aquarius energy, and this is an opposition, which is a little bit of a conflict. It is going to bring a little bit of a Debbie Downer negative Nancy narrative into play. We are feeling the pressure on our heart space at this particular point in time. This is the last aspect that the moon's going to make before going void. And you best believe that we're getting a little bit of a reality check on where it is that the weight, that the heaviness that we've been bearing on our heart space, where we are attempting to kind of free ourselves from that and release that. What does this mean for us? Where do we need to build from here? When we take responsibility and accountability for our emotions and for our actions, then we actually have to do something in our lives in order to prove that we are integrating that particular energy and action into our lives. We have to boss up. We have to take responsibility. And Saturn being in this Aquarian energy is very, very much a visionary energy. We're popping ourselves into the future. We're recognizing from the bird's eye view what it is that we have to kind of build and create in our life in order to actually get there. And because this is a releasing, purging period of our emotions and of our heart space, this clears us up to kind of see that, guess what, we can't use those emotions and that pain and that trauma as an excuse anymore to prevent us from actually building something towards our future and our long-term goals. So now that we've kind of resolved, if you will, what it is that we got to let go of, what does this mean for us? There's a whole lot of weight, a whole lot of responsibility that now just gets put on our heart space, not because of the pain and trauma and the hurt and the sadness and the grief that we've been trying to release, but because now we bossed up, we've acknowledged where it is that we have to let some things go. And now this means that we got to get on with the show. This means that we have to kind of boss up and start building new elements in our lives, especially to bridge the gap from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be, because we have new inspirations, new ideas, new passions, new desires emerging now that we've kind of cleaned out the gunk. This is when the moon goes void. While the moon is void, still in this Leo energy, we're going to bump into Chiron. Now we're not feeling so bold. We're not feeling so brave. We're not feeling so courageous. Suddenly, everything just got a whole hell of a lot clearer. And with that clarity, got a whole hell of a lot scarier, because now we realize we are in control of our happiness. We're in control of the path that we're going to take. We're in control of what it is that we want to create for ourselves. And that can be very overwhelming. When there's no one else to blame, when there's no one else to distract, when there's no one else to make excuses, and it's only on us, that can be a very scary thing to do. So we just had this little reality check with Saturn here. We just realized where it is now. We need to boss up now and actually be responsible for our lives and our happiness. And now we don't know what to do with that. Lucky for us, we have Mercury sextiling, which is a beautiful energy, with Neptune. So Mercury is in Capricorn energy, giving us a little bit more of a grounded approach, logical, practical, grounded approach on how it is that we're going to bring some of these ideas and inspirations to life, what it is that we need to build in our life in order to reach our long-term goals. Neptune over here in its place of power in Pisces energy, very much connected to the higher self, turning the volume all the way up on our intuition, on our creativity, on our imagination. Suddenly, we are inspired. Suddenly, we are motivated. Suddenly, we get the vision and the dream that is going to provide us with a step-by-step plan on where it is that we're going to move forward, where it is that we're going to be responsible and accountable for building something new in our lives that's going to create more happiness, more joy. We're more heart aligned now that the full moon in Leo has kind of reached its peak energy. And now we just need to sit with what it is that's coming in our highest mental plane, in our intuition, downloads, the aha moments, the epiphanies on what it is that we want to pursue from here. Just a fun fact. This is a kind of a conclusion, if you will. We're closing the book, the story, on some of the dreams and visions that we had very late in December. This aspect actually popped off very late in December before Mercury turned retrograde. As you know, Mercury went retrograde in that Capricorn energy. And then all of a sudden we had to look back and really review our vision, our dreams, our goals. And of course, there's been a lot of change since December of 29 of 2022. We've had a lot of change, a lot of information thrown at us, a lot of energy thrown at us. We've jumped timelines. And now we're kind of coming back to some of the things that popped off while Mercury was retrograde. We're having a little bit more clarity downloaded into our mental plane. And this is why we're going to have like a very strong intuitional gut feeling that this is what I need to pursue. This is what I was meant to do. This is my new mission. This is my new calling. And because we are very strong in our intuition, it does kind of feel like a new level of awareness, a new level of enlightenment. So we definitely have that working in our favor. The moon, still in Leo energy, still void of course, is going to make an awkward interaction with Pluto, the great transformer himself. Now, this speaks of a choice point because Pluto is here to kind of push us in a direction to make a choice on whether or not we are going to stay where it is that we're at, paralyzed under the roles and responsibilities that we now have, paralyzed with the pain and the trauma and the suffering that we often refer back to on the reasons of why we shouldn't push in order to make some changes in our life. But Pluto needs us to have a shift in our psyche first and foremost. The shift needs to happen in our intellect to see things differently in order for a new emotion to actually be invoked. So this particular interaction is definitely going to have us shifting our thoughts, shifting our perception, shifting our understanding, and therefore shifting our emotion. Now, what are we shifting to? Well, hopefully it's a boss up in order for you to take control over your life. Like we talked about, we just had a pretty serious reality check there on, we have nobody else to blame. We have nobody else to make excuses about our life. We are fully in control and what we choose to do with our realities, whether we're going to create space in order for happiness and joy and pleasure and heart-led adventures take over, or whether or not we're going to continue to play it small, play in the shadows, and just see what life throws at us. 4:05 p.m., the moon in Leo is going to make a very harmonious aspect with Mercury. The reason why this is important is because this is the last aspect that the moon in Leo is going to make before shifting into this Virgo energy. The moon and Mercury, our heart space and our head space, they're finally on the same page. This feels good. This is a very harmonious interaction. We just went through all of this tough love life realization. We just had our wounds exposed. We just had the opportunity to boss up. We just had the opportunity to shift our mental plane, shift our heart space, and we obviously did because they're on the same page. They're talking. The moon in Leo is passionate, is excited, is ready to initiate something new, a heart-led adventure. And Mercury over here in Capricorn energy is adding the logic and practicality that we need, the strategy that we need in order to bring some of these ideas to life. So the moon shifts into this Virgo energy, 4:15 p.m., again, Eastern Standard Time. We will feel the energy slow down. We will become a little bit more grounded, a little bit more slow in our physical bodies, but our mental plane, our headspace, is going to be ramping up. The only aspect that the moon in Virgo is going to make here today is a positive one, lucky for us, with Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, blessings, who is in this Aries energy. So what we get here is an emotional shift forward. We're thinking futuristically. We're thinking about the new ideas that we've been downloaded with. And again, Virgo energy is here to organize our thoughts, organize our emotion and our physical lives, and help us to heal and problem solve some of the issues that's coming up for us. Now, Jupiter is about growth and expansion. And so with the moon and Jupiter kind of blending their energies together, we're feeling good about this new prospect, this new perspective, these new opportunities. We're feeling very positive about it. And our mental plane is working to focus in on the details that are needed in order to construct this plan, the strategy to move forward, to really kind of align with the vision and the dream, because I'm telling you, we're about to enter into a realm of action. But before we take that action, we have to sort through the details visually and physically. We have to actually gain a vision, gain some insight on where it is that we project ourselves to be, and break it down into small, manageable pieces. The Virgo energy is very precise. We tend to zoom in on the details that are needed in order to form the greater, grander picture. Jupiter is the greater, grander picture, downloading us with optimism and confidence. We have what it takes to do whatever it is that we set our heart and our mind space to. Jupiter is in Aries energy, fired up, ready to go, ready to take the leadership role in creating new opportunities that are heart aligned. The moon in Virgo is going to take the ideas, the inspiration, the dream, the vision, put it through the intellect, and then we're going to start taking very small but sturdy actions in our physical realm to start putting the pieces together. This is the clarity, this is the inner workings that we have been waiting for.